2 premium travel cards, $1,290 in annual fees. Most people would look at that and say you're out of your mind. But I'd argue the Bilt Palladium and Chase Sapphire Reserve is one of the best 2-card setups in the game today. Now, to be fair, for some people, this setup might sound crazy. If your spend doesn't line up, or you can't use the benefits or credits naturally, this is a fast way to light $1,300 on fire. But if you know how to optimize, this combo is straight up gas. For the right spender, it can easily net you thousands of dollars in value every single year. And that's exactly what I'm breaking down in this video. Today, I'm going to show you why these 2 cards work so well together, run the math on a $4,500 monthly budget so you can see exactly what the return on spend is, and show you what this setup is realistically capable of. Because the real question isn't whether or not there's value here. It's whether there's enough value to justify those annual fees. Alright, let's get into it and start with the idea that most people get completely wrong. And that's looking at their premium cards in a vacuum. They see the annual fee, get spooked, and immediately start thinking, does this one card justify itself? That's the right idea, but the wrong execution. The real question you need to be asking is, does each card have a specific role in your setup? And when you zoom out, is the total value from your full stack greater than the total fees you're paying? That's how this actually works. The strongest setups aren't built around 2 cards competing for the same multipliers. They're built around synergy. 2 cards covering different lanes really well. And that's exactly what we have in this setup. Here, the Palladium is your everyday engine. Dining, miscellaneous spend, housing. It keeps the points flowing when you're not actively traveling. Then you got the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That's your travel anchor. Flights, hotels, premium perks, and travel protections. And on the back end, you've got 2 of the strongest transfer partner ecosystems working together. That's the setup. So let's break down each card. And this is where things start to get a lot more interesting. First up is the Bilt Palladium. And I'll be the first to admit it. I absolutely hated this card when it first came out. I thought the whole thing was overcomplicated and not worth the headache. But after spending a few months actually analyzing it, I'm definitely coming around. I still think for the average credit card user, there's better options out there, but for certain setups, and this setup in particular, this card is hard to beat. It comes with a $495 annual fee and a 50,000 point welcome bonus for $4,000 in non-housing spend in your first 3 months. You also get Bilt Gold status for the first year and $300 in Bilt Cash on approval. Now annually, this card gives you $200 in Bilt Cash, a $400 Bilt Hotel credit split up twice per year, and priority pass lounge access. Now that's all nice, but the real story here is how the card earns. It gives you 2x on everyday purchases plus 4% in Bilt Cash if you choose that option. Now Bilt Cash can be redeemed a few different ways inside Bilt's ecosystem, but the part we care about most is the points boost feature and the ability to unlock points on your housing. Now when it comes to housing, every $30 in Bilt Cash can unlock 1,000 points on your housing payment, up to 1x of your total payment. So in simple terms, that can boost your effective earn rate from 2x to 3.33x. I break down the full mechanics in my Venture X vs Palladium video, so check that one out after this one if you want a deep dive. So that's the earn, but what about the credits? What are they actually worth? Understanding this will help us calculate the effective annual fee, which is just the annual fee minus any credits you can use naturally. Now everyone is different here, so if you feel like I'm under or overvaluating something, let me know in the comments. The goal is to make this as realistic as possible for the average user. Now first off, you got the $400 Bilt Hotel credit, and I'm valuing this at 50% or $200. Realistically, even if you can use both those semi-annual credits, would you pay $400 for a credit with those requirements? For most people, the answer is no, but $200 feels fair. I'm also stacking $100 of the Bilt Cash on top of the booking, so the total hotel value I'm counting here is $300. The other $100 in Bilt Cash I'm leaving out of the annual fee, but don't worry, we're going to come back to that in the spend allocation section. So your true cost here is the $495 minus the $300 in credits, bringing your total annual fee to an effective $195. Now that's the cost, but like all premium cards, year one is a little bit different. With the Palladium, you've got a 50,000 point welcome bonus, gold status, and $300 in Bilt Cash right out of the gate. And at a 2.2 cent valuation, that's roughly $1,400 in value before you swipe once. So that's the Palladium doing the heavy lifting on the spend side. But what you're still missing is those premium travel benefits. And that's exactly where the Chase Sapphire Reserve comes in. Because this is what takes this setup from being just a strong earner to being a serious travel combo. Now a lot of people are going to tune out the second I say this next part, but in my opinion, the Sapphire Reserve is still a banger of a card. Ever since the refresh, people have been hating on it, and honestly, I get where they're coming from. When Chase pushed the annual fee from $550 to $795, half the internet called it dead. Creators started running eulogy videos, and points blogs dropped their sunset takes. I watched the whole wave run through. But I'm on the other side of the fence with this one. Chase didn't just raise the fee. They rebuilt the credit stack and shifted the target audience. And for people in metro areas specifically, this card is really hard to beat. So let's walk through it. It comes with a $795 annual fee, and the current welcome offer is 125,000 ultimate rewards points after 6,000 in spend in 3 months. Now on the earn side, it gives you 4x on flights and hotels booked directly, 8x on bookings through the Chase travel portal, 3x on dining, and 5x on Lyft rides. But for this setup, you're mainly using this card for the 4x on direct travel. Now let's talk credits. Same game as the Palladium. What are they actually worth? First, you got that $300 travel credit. I'm calling this $300 in value. If you travel at all throughout the year, you're hitting this without even thinking about it. For the hotel credits, you got a $500 edit credit split up into 2 separate $250 bookings and a $250 IHG or select hotels credit. So the combined value here is $750, but I'm assigning a value of $500 for this, with the assumption you're going to be stacking the IHG credit and one of those $250 edit credits to give you 1 weekend at a banging IHG property. Next, you've got the $300 open table dining credit, and I'm calling this $150. Even if you don't live near an open table restaurant, I'm assuming you come across one time per year. For the $300 StubHub credit, I'm assuming a value of $150 here. 1 event a year seems reasonable. Then you got Apple TV and Apple Music, which I'm calling $25, the Lyft credits, which I'm calling $30, and DashPass, DoorDash, and Peloton, I'm calling 0. For 99% of people, those are just marketing. Then you got Priority Pass, Chase Lounge Access, no foreign transaction fees, trip cancellation, primary rental coverage, which are all real solid benefits. But I'm not assigning any hard values for this, but if you travel, you know what they're worth. So here's the tally. $300 in travel, $500 in hotels, $150 in dining and StubHub, $25 in Apple, and $30 in Lyft. That's $1,155 in value for a $795 annual fee card, giving you positive value of $360 per year for just holding on to it. Now that's some solid value if you ask me. Some may think the Amex Platinum is the better premium credit card, and maybe it is in general. But for this setup we're building here, with the Palladium doing the heavy lifting on spend, the Reserve is the perfect travel anchor, offering strong direct booking multipliers, transfer partner synergy, and top-tier lounge access and travel protections. So now we understand what each card brings individually. But the real question is, what happens when you actually pair them together? Alright, now let's put this all together. We're running a $4,500 monthly budget that breaks down to $2,000 a month in rent, $300 a month in travel booked directly with hotels and airlines, and $2,200 on everything else. That's $54,000 a year in spend. But not every dollar is doing the same job. The $2,200 in everyday spend goes on the Palladium at 2x. That earns 52,800 Bilt points. That same spend also earns 4% in Bilt cash, which is about $1,056 in Bilt cash for the year. Add on the $100 you get annually we held back from the math fee, and you've got $1,156 total to deploy. Now $720 of that we're going to use to unlock your full housing payment at 1x. That's 24,000 additional Bilt points. Next, the remaining $400 we're using for points boosts. Here, every $200 buys a 1x boost, raising your catch-all floor from 2x to 3x on your next $5,000 in spend. So 2 $200 boosts get you another 10,000 points. The last $36 in Bilt cash you can redeem at face value, which is going to be another $36 in value. So total for Bilt, you've got 52,800 points from spend, 24,000 unlocked from housing, 10,000 from the points boost, which is 86,800 for the year, plus $36 in Bilt cash. Also, side note, this also clears the 25,000 annual spend threshold to keep Bilt Gold status year over year, so the hotel perks stay in play automatically. Okay, that's Bilt. Then you got the Chase side, which is much more simple. For this, you got $300 a month in direct travel. That's $3,600 per year at 4x, which is 14,400 ultimate rewards points. Now let's pencil out all the cash value here. First, you got 86,800 Bilt points, and at a 2.2 cent valuation, that's $1,910. Then you got the 14,400 ultimate rewards points at a 2 cent valuation. That's about $295. Then you add in the leftover Bilt cash, which is another $36 in value. So total, the annual value you're getting here is $2,241 per year. Adding back in that combined effective annual fee, which is another $165 in positive value, and you're at an annual value with this setup of $2,406 every single year. Now that's great, but here's where it really hits. Without Bilt, you earn nothing on rent, zero. The only exception is the Atmos strategy, which is crazy in its own right, and I have a full video on that on the channel, so if you want to know more about how that works, check that one out after this one. But for most people, rent is a dead category. So when we calculate the return on spend here, that's excluded from this number. So really your base spend here is $2,500 a month or $30,000 a year. And if you take that $2,406 in value divided by $30,000, you get an 8% effective return on non-housing spend. Now that is wild efficiency. And that's just assuming a baseline of 2-cent redemptions. Some of you pros out there, I'm sure, are going to be able to redeem for much more than that. Bottom line, this setup isn't about having 2 premium cards. It's about building a system that actually works. And if you're looking to pick up either of these cards, I have links down in the description with the most up-to-date welcome offers. It helps support the channel if you use them, so thank you if you do. And if you want help building out your own credit card strategy, I run a one-on-one spend audit service where I look at your actual spending, goals, and lifestyle to build a setup that makes the most sense for you. Check it out in the description if you're interested. Lastly, if you enjoyed this strategy style video, hit the like button and subscribe, and check out this next video on the Alaska rent strategy. It's going to be over here. That's all I got for you guys today, but I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.